Hi everyone. Alrighty. In the last class we were talking about combined inputs of up to 400,000 BTUs and how to find the combustion air requirements. But now we're moving on to if the combined inputs are over 400,000 BTUs. So over 400,000 BTUs. And some of you are saying, but Mary, I need a G1 in order to work on those appliances, so why are we talking about this? No, I'm saying combined inputs, so I could have 20 water heaters that are all tiny, 50,000 BTUs. Okay, so we have combined inputs over 400,000 BTUs. We are not going to refer to our tables that we referred to in the last videos. In this video, we're going to refer to clauses 8.4.1, 8.4.2, and 8.4.3. Easy math. I'm holding my calculator right now because we're going to need it, so get your calculator out too if you want to follow along. Okay, so right now I'm concerned about basically all of my appliances are going to get the combustion air requirements from 8.4.2. Okay, that's most of my appliances. Now the exception to that rule is going to be with 8.4.3, and that's when you have a power burner. So my combustion air requirements are coming from 842 and 843, usually 842, if it has a power burner from 843, and then my ventilation air requirements are coming from 8.4.1. We can't figure out our ventilation air until we know what our combustion air opening is. So just like with any other structure that we were talking about with residential, in this case we're talking about, okay, we want to direct the air in lower to allow combustion air to come in. That's coming from 842 and 843. But when we have combined inputs over 400,000 BTUs, now we have to have a little small opening up high as a safety precaution. So the second opening is going to be small and it's going to be up high. If we have any flue products that are spilling from the draft control devices, if we have any kind of issue, it allows a place for them to escape, and it also allows a place where we can just have ventilation air, not combustion air coming in, okay? So we're going to have two openings, but first we have to figure out what the combustion air opening is. So I'm gonna clear off my writing here. Great. So let's come up with an example. And let's say that I have 10 water heaters. They don't have power burners. Each water heater is going to be 50,000 BTUs. And so if I have 10 of them, then 10 times 50,000 is going to be 500,000 BTUs in input. So from there, I go and I read 8.4.2. It's got really great information for you. It's going to tell you how big that opening should be. It's also going to tell you where that air needs to be directed to. So read that clause now. Then you're going to see that it says for the first million BTUs, we have less than a million BTUs, we only have 500,000. For the first million BTUs, you're going to get 1 square inch for every 7,000 BTUs of input. So what do? I take 500,000, I divide it by 7,000. And it tells me that I need 71.428 square inches. Normally we round down, we round up, we go by what our decimal places tell us what to do. And in this case, I should be rounding down. But remember, this is about providing enough combustion air. So whatever I see, whatever it is, I'm going to go up. So my number says 71.4285, but I'm going to say 72 square inches. So I need 72 square inches for combustion air free area opening. Now what about my ventilation air opening? So now you've got to read 8.4.1. And 8.4.1 tells you that you need 10% of whatever combustion air requirements were, but not less than 10 square inches. So you read 841, it tells you where that opening needs to be. It tells you that it needs to be 10%, but not less than 10 square inches of my combustion air opening. So I look at my combustion air opening and I go, okay, it's 72, so what's 10% of 72? 10% of 72 is going to be 7.2 square inches. Oh, wait a minute, but not less than 10 square inches. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to need at least 10 square inches for my ventilation air opening. So I have 72 square inches of opening for combustion air, and I have 10 square inches of opening for ventilation air. Easy peasy. Let's do another example, and I will clear off some of this. Okay, so another example. Let's say that in this example, I have one conversion burner that's converting it used to be oil, and now it's running off of natural gas, and this conversion burner has a power burner. So we've got one conversion burner with a power burner. Really important information here. So you've got one conversion burner with a power burner, and let's say that that input is going to be 2 million BTUs. Too many zeros. So I've got 2 million BTUs of input, but it has a power burner. So I'm not going to 842, I'm going to 843. 8.4.3. Read it, and then you say, oh, I need 1 square inch per 30,000 BTUs. So I need less air than I did before, relatively speaking. So I'm going to use my trusty calculator. And it tells me I need 66.67 square inches. So again, I'm going up. So 67 square inches of opening for combustion air. Okay? Combustion air, 67 square inches. But I still have to provide ventilation air. So 841, you know this. It says that I need a 10% opening or not less than 10 square inches. So 10% is 6.7, or we could say 7 square inches, but that isn't big enough. I'm going to have to go with the 10 square inches rule. So I need 10 square inches for ventilation air. Wonderful. So now let's change it up. Let's do another example. If you are combining them, you're just going to add them both up together, but we're not going to combine them just yet. I'll combine them after the next example. So let's say that I have 15 water heaters. This is a big area. Let's say that we have 15 water heaters, and they're all going to be 45,000 BTUs each. So 15 water heaters at 45,000 BTUs. So I go, what's 15 times 45,000? That gives me 675,000 BTUs. But that's not all. We also have 7 boilers, and each one of those is 80,000 BTUs. All right, so I go 7 times 80,000, and it gives me 560,000. Oh, that's not all. We also have 8 furnaces at 75,000 BTUs each. So this structure has 15 water heaters, it's got 7 boilers, and it has 8 furnaces. So with the 8 furnaces at 75,000 BTUs, that's 600,000. So first thing I got to do is total them all up. So 600 plus 560,000 plus 675,000 gives me 1,835,000 BTUs. Nice big number. So what do? I end up reading 8.4.2 because none of these have power burners. Nope, no power burners here. And again, 842 says for up to the first million BTUs, you're going to need 1 square inch per 7,000 BTUs, but that's only the first million. So I'm going to go, let's take care of this million separately. And if I take that and I divide this by 7,000, then I'm going to get 143 square inches. So at first, I'm going to just put that number aside. I don't need that right now. So 1 million BTUs divided by 7,000 BTUs, or 7,000 BTUs, is going to give us 143 square inches. But what about this 835,000 I still have left over? Keep reading 8.4.2. It says for the first million we need 1 square inch per 7,000 BTUs, but everything after that we need 1 square inch per 14,000 BTUs. So 835,000 divided by 14,000 gives me, it's 59.64, and I'm rounding up, so it gives me 60 square inches. So let's add up those two numbers together. Good stuff. So 143 plus 60 square inches says that I need, for combustion air opening, 203 square inches. So what do I need for my ventilation air? Hopefully at this point you said, oh, I know that, Mary. I have to go to 8.4.1. It says that I need 10%, but not less than 10 square inches. What's 10% of 203 square inches? 203 square inches, 10%, gives us 20.3. And again, you can say 20.3. 20.3 is completely acceptable. I like to round up. So for my ventilation air, it's going to be 21, here I go, 21 square inches for the ventilation air opening. So I need 203 square inches for the combustion air opening, and I need 21 square inches for the ventilation air opening. And yes, if you want to give decimals and say 20.3, completely acceptable in our class. All right, so we'll do one last example for the combined inputs over 400,000 BTUs. Let me just clear off some of this board. Fabulous. Okay, so one more example for combined inputs of 400,000 BTUs. Let's say that I have one gas engine, and you should know that a gas engine has a power burner, but I'm gonna tell you anyways right now. Let's say that that has an input of something crazy and just completely off the charts. Let's say it's got 5 million BTUs of input. So we've got one gas engine, and let's say that I've got one water heater, and that water heater is 600,000 BTUs, and I have one boiler. And that boiler is 1.5, 1,500,000 BTUs. Excellent. So one of these appliances has a power burner, so we have to keep that separate. We want to deal with that separately, because remember that the power burner is coming from 8.4.3, and then everything else is going to come from 8.4.2. So we're following the same rules that we've been using so far. We're just going to do the math separately and then add them all up. So first of all, I'm going to say from the first equation, I'm going to do 5 million divided by 30,000, because that's what 843 says. It says 1 square inch for every 30,000 BTUs. So 5 million divided by 30,000. And let's just put this over here. 5 million divided by 30,000 gives me 166.66666. So we'll say we have 167 square inches required from the first portion. Now, the second calculation is going to be when we're combining all of these together. So how much do I have if I add 600,000 and then 1,500,000? I've got 2,100,000 BTUs of combined input. And you're laughing at me right now. I know you are, because I've had you in my classes, because I'm double checking that with my calculator, because I have to. So I've just checked, yep, 2,100,000 BTUs. So I read the rule from 8.4.2. It says for the first million BTUs, so let's take that away separately. I need 1 square inch per 7,000 BTUs. And that gives me 143 square inches. So I'm going to put that 143 square inches over here. Let's just double check. Yeah, it's 142.857. So we've got 143 square inches from our second calculation. Now I've got the leftover stuff. So the first million was taken care of, but now I've got 1 million. 1 million. Oopsie. Okay. I have 1,100,000 BTUs left over. And 8.4.2 says that for everything beyond the first million, we're taking 1 square inch per 14,000 BTUs. So I'm going to do that math. That's my third equation I'm doing. So I'm going to take 1,100,000 BTUs divided by 14,000 BTUs gives me 78.57. So again, I'm going to round it up to 79 square inches. And I'm going to put that number over here. So now I have to add up everything. My power burner number, the other stuff that was up to the first million BTUs, and then everything beyond the first million BTUs for the other stuff. So I add up 167 plus 143 plus 79, and that's giving me 389 square inches of opening. That's a big opening. Now, you know that there's always other methods that involve getting engineers to stamp it, then getting it approved by TSSA, but right now we're just going with what we can do, what we're allowed to do. So my combustion air opening needs to be 389 square inches, and that's when we end up saying free area opening, so without the grill. You put a grill on, you make it bigger, you follow the rules that we talked about earlier. So 389 square inches for combustion air. And then what is it I'm doing for ventilation air? That's right. I know someone out there said, oh, you go to 8.4.1, that's 10% of that, but not less than 10 square inches. So 10% is 38.9. So we're going to say that we need 39 square inches of ventilation air opening. And that is how you calculate your combustion air and your ventilation air requirements for combined inputs over 400,000 BTUs. Thanks for doing some review with me, and I'll see you in class.